This summer, settle in and reconnect with one another. South Padre Island has so many great places to stay. Condos, resorts, and hotels. Oh my! Book your summer getaway today. And start making memories poolside with the people you care about most. Visit SoPadre.com.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
Fiber, business or home, take a look at what we do.
Ready to drive with confidence? Arroyo Driving School helps teens and adults become safe, skilled drivers. Our certified instructors teach the latest techniques to ensure you're prepared for any road. With quality vehicles and hands-on training, we give you the skills to drive responsibly. Get started today.
Elevation, AT4, AT4X, Denali. Case closed. Free your GMC. We're professional grade.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
This summer, it's time to go outside and get some air. Explore a pirate ship. Or go horseback riding on the beach. And you can't forget about all the fun on the bay. South Padre Island has so much to do for the whole family. Book your summer getaway today. Visit SoPadre.com.
Sunny Glen Children's Home has provided a place of hope for every child since 1936. If you'd like more information on Sunny Glen and the services we offer, please visit us at www.sunnyglen.org.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
South Padre Island. Enjoy endless activities for all ages. Then dance the night away with live music. Savor fresh seafood and discover unique food trucks and shop our charming boutiques. What are you waiting for? Escape the everyday at South Padre Island.
This summer, settle in and reconnect with one another. South Padre Island has so many great places to stay. Condos, resorts, and hotels. Oh my! Book your summer getaway today. And start making memories poolside with the people you care about most. Visit SoPadre.com.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
Fiber, business or home, take a look at Wing.
drive with confidence? Arroyo Driving School helps teens and adults become safe, skilled drivers. Our certified instructors teach the latest techniques to ensure you're prepared for any road. With quality vehicles and hands-on training, we give you the skills to drive responsibly. Get started today.
Elevation, AT4, AT4X, Denali. Case closed. For your GMC, we're professional grade.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
This summer, it's time to go outside and get some air. Explore a pirate ship. Or go horseback riding on the beach. And you can't forget about all the fun on the bay. South Padre Island has so much to do for the whole family. Book your summer getaway today. Visit SoPadre.com.
Good morning, everybody. Back for another episode of Coffee with Coach O on a Monday morning here live in the Bloodhound Cafe. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
September 15th, we are well underway with the school year and with the volleyball season. The Lady Bloodhounds coming off a tough week, and we knew what was ahead with this gauntlet schedule that St. Joe has been going through, coming off a loss on Tuesday against Los Fresnos, and then dropping our district opener this past Saturday at San Antonio Christian. What lies ahead for St. Joe? Well, a little bit more stiff competition. Tomorrow, the Lady Bloodhounds will travel down the streets to Brownsville Veterans. That one's going to be a lot of fun. Little crosstown rivalry there. And then we'll hit the road yet again on Saturday to take on Laredo St. Augustine. So, Coach, did you get some rest at all? That is a pretty busy week.
Not much. Not much. Unfortunately, by the time I finally got into bed, it was 1:30 in the morning Sunday morning, I should say.
Right.
And then I had to be up early because, church, and I was reading, and so,
Yep, for sure. Let's retrace our steps going back to Tuesday and the Los Fresnos match. And again, from what you and I both understand is that that was the first time St. Joe played Los Fresnos in volleyball. So I think that was a pretty cool fun fact for
Mhm.
both programs. I think the match, you look back at it, it was 25-17, 25-20, 25-20.
Mhm.
Lost in straight sets, but the girls are really competing with those big schools we've seen the last few weeks.
Yeah, I I see that match and I see the Saturday match. Of course, play replay and replay and replay. But it's not like we're not in the game because we're always in the game. Like I said before, it's always going to come down to the things that we can control, that serve and that pass. And when we play in matches like that, I've always said, it's whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is basically who's going to come out on top. I mean, offensively, both of those teams probably were a little bit stronger than we were. Well, they were stronger than we were. We had to play a lot of defense, especially Saturday. That those girls. I mean, when I saw them, I didn't really. I mean, I know names, but I don't really put the name to the face. There's just too many things going on in my head to keep track of that. But I knew they were going to be tough, and I knew Los Fresnos was going to be tough because I knew they had, Emily and I don't remember the middle's name, but Natalie outside, she did a really good job of using that line, and we just didn't respond. We just weren't there, I think we really need to focus on bettering our blocking. And I think, and I always tell the kids, that's the first line of defense. The first people that have the job as a defensive player are the blockers. And then your defensive players in the back are your second line. So if we can't get at least a touch on the first line, they're making that back row really work hard. And we did, we dug up a lot of, really good, balls. But at the end of the day, if we can't convert into, a pass set and go back and get a good strong hit or be smart and, use that open area to convert into a point, well, then not that it was, not effective. It was just not something that we followed through on. And it's tough. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's tough, but I think we definitely, can probably turn around if we had to play them again. I think we could, turn around and flip that win loss.
Right.
Um,
In the third set, we went up.
We were up.
11-4.
We were up. We were
11-3.
up by a lot.
We had the
Yeah.
momentum. What might have changed with us being able to get out to such a big lead?
I don't know. I think a lot of it's just mental. I think it's a lot of it's mental, and it affects their actual physical play. 'Cause we were way ahead, and I was just like, okay, here we go. But and then all of a sudden it's like they get 2-3 kills, and it's like the bottom just drops out. And even though we're working, we're not able to convert into, like I said, into a point to to get that ball back to us and get that momentum going again. So it's not that we wait too long. Because obviously we're not doing this. They're not doing this stuff on purpose.
Right,
But it's just got to be where it's just got to come to a point where somebody will, more than one person will step up and start doing the things that we need to do to break serve and to get at that point to where we have the ball back on our side for a serve,
Right.
So
Yeah, and I thought, Los Fresnos, they did a real good job on attacking the lines early, and then we made that adjustment and started defending the lines a lot better. There was a lot of rallies.
Yeah, there was a lot of rallies.
in that match in general. That
Yeah.
we won some. Los Fresnos won some of
Yeah.
them. But defensively, I think this team just continues to get a little bit better and better. And what's interesting is as the season goes on, we talk about finding the team's DNA. and what exactly is the nucleus of this team. And coming into the year, we're like, well, we're going to be, our strength is going to be our hitters. I think this identity of this team might have been switched a little bit to where our identity might be defensively. We're actually, we're ahead of the curve. Do you feel that kind of that's the trend?
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely, like you said, ahead of the curve. We're there's more. Like I told you in the stats, there's more defensively. There's more pluses there than offensively, and that's not saying that we don't have hitter. I mean, we have good, strong hitters, but we're really definitely playing better defense, and so that kind of shifts that. I think if we can balance it out, I think we're gonna, really make a difference on the outcomes of our upcoming matches.
My theory on that, and again, you know me, I'm always going to use a baseball reference. Is for me, I'll take someone who's going to be plus defensively. They're hitting, they may be 250, 260, maybe in a little bit of a slump. To me, the hitting will come. The hitting will be there. You just got to keep swinging. Defensively, I think it's harder to prepare and get that done. So I think in our case, our defense is there, and I fully believe that the hitting will come because we see it in spurts with multiple hitters that we have, from Regina, Sky, Valeria, Sienna, Gali. There's so many hitters, and I think once we figure that out and once it becomes consistent from A to Z, we're going to be pretty darn good. And that part's still kind of just figuring itself out a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel exactly the same way. You've heard me say it. Offense wins you points, but defense wins you, games and championships. And our defense has definitely been, strong. And it's not just in the libero aspect. It's in the Olivia Wood, Gali. I thought played a tremendous defensive game on Saturday. Sophia, but it's kind of, I kind of expected us to do a little bit more offensively. We've been working on a couple of things. We worked on it on Thursday and Friday, and working on moving the ball more so that we can move the block and we don't get stuffed like what happened on Saturday. And we can't, you're up against somebody that's, above the net, 12, 18 inches, and you can't hit straight on. And we hit straight on almost every single time in the middle. And it's like, okay, if you're going to hit straight on, you got to make sure. And we do a drill, and they hate it. And it's a defensive drill. It's a coverage drill is what it is. And you have 3 people covering that hitter, so that if we do get blocked, we can play it up, and hopefully get a full, pass set hit off of it. And we kind of get lazy on that. And so then that's when we get burned. And it's something that I think they just need to be really, really diligent about. They really need to be serious about when they do it, because if one person is out of position, you saw.
Yeah.
One person out of position, and that's where that ball goes. Yeah. So, we didn't work a lot on coverage, but we did work on tandems and moving the ball and, running different things and I don't think we did it once. We tried once. With Gali, but I think the ball was too far out, so she couldn't even take a swing. She just kind of got it over. But those are just things that I tell them, we don't do this stuff in practice just to do it, just to kill time, just so you could be here sweating. We do it for a reason. Yep. And so when you face teams, which we're going to face, like, Sacks, the big block, you have to do something else. And of course the blocking, it is tough to block, somebody that's hitting over you.
Yeah. I mean, Regina Garza was doing the game with me, and we were just having a good conversation about those blocks. Like, I mean, Ivania had a lot of good swings that 8 out of 10, that's a kill. But those girls just came up off the block, Gali, Sienna, and I mean, how frustrating is that as a coach, as a hitter? Like, what do I gotta do?
It's just really frustrating, and And the thing is, when that keeps happening, you've got to do something else. You've got to push that ball to the side. You've got to, going over them was gonna be a real tough thing to do because they were so high up. I think we got one or two, over the block, and when you're 1-on-1, it's not that it's easier, but that's the best opportunity rather than having to go over two people.
Right.
And Sienna does that real well. She'll go in swinging. You'll think she's swinging, and then at the last minute she does that. But we never really used that. We did more sides, and of course sides you've got the two people back already, and the corners were open, and I'd say go to the corner, and but really honestly, getting by that block was tough. It was tough, and I mean that's what we're going to be facing. That team was
They were
loaded.
polished.
Yeah, and they were polished.
Yeah.
They were polished. So, and I kind of expected that. I thought the atmosphere was better in there this year. I don't think it was as hostile.
No,
it
it wasn't. No.
It was better. It wasn't, they weren't, banging on the bleachers and doing all that stuff that drives us nuts. But, I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from them. They're good. They were very good, very good.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not forget we took a set.
Yeah, we took a set from them.
we
Yeah,
took-
we had to work for it.
Yes.
But that's
Yes.
where I saw the grittiness. That's where I saw the no quit attitude. And I told them, because I wrote them a note and I mentioned, about being really mentally, physically, you gotta know in your heart, you gotta know in your head, you gotta know in your gut that you can do this, and you have to persevere and you have to push through. And yeah, you're gonna face those bumps, but you have to keep pushing. And I know I used 3 words. I can't remember all 3 of them, but too many things have happened since then. But basically it was just no. You have to have that no quit attitude. No ball is dead until it's dead and rolling on the floor. So, and I saw that in that 4th set.
Yep.
I don't remember if we were up or if we were behind, but I knew when we got to that 20th point, I was like, okay, we're right there, so we can do that. And I kind of just talked a little bit about it, at the end of that 4th set, but it's just we have to be steady. We can't be roller coaster because that gets us in trouble. I mean, I've had teams like that forever, and for the most part, we've always come out on top. But it's not always going to happen when you play teams like that. So
Absolutely, no. Certainly, San Antonio Christian, their middles. That was certainly a big turning point, and it was in that first set, and it's almost as if, I mean, it might have just been because of the rotation, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt that they were just kind of feeling it out early on, and then when they went to that rotation in the middle, I think that's when they took over that first set, and then that's what kind of set the tone for the match. Like, hey, we're gonna have a presence in the middle, and we're gonna come up on the blocks.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't remember who their middle. I remember who that middle was. I mean, they were all pretty strong, but
7, 9, and 11.
yeah.
Cleveland. Sarah Cleveland was the one.
So
that
Sarah Cleveland, I think, is a junior this year. I think she's a
Yeah.
junior.
And Tatum Robert, I think, is a senior.
Yes.
Those are the 2 big
Yeah,
middles.
those are 2 big middles.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Sarah Cleveland is a junior this year, because I remember when I was nominating Gali last year for something, newcomer.
Yep.
She was in there too, and they had kind of similar stats, but yeah. So I got outvoted.
Shout out. I'm just curious. Look up her grade.
The JV.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to the J. They were due. Those kids.
Yeah, they were.
They went to 3 sets with Los Fresnos.
Yeah.
And went to essentially overtime
Yes.
with Los Fresnos.
Yes.
Oh man, they were that close to picking up their first their win. Not their first win, but a huge win in Los Fresnos. But they wound up coming back and beating Sachs, the JV.
Yeah, and I could see it kind of like building, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To that third set, I
Yes.
could see
Yep.
it. And there was a huge play, and I don't remember what it was, but it was like a long rally. And when they scored that point, I was like, okay, they've got this. And you know, it's that's the very first district match that I think we've won at the JV level.
Okay. Awesome.
I want to say it's the first one.
Awesome.
And you know, we were due. They were
Yes.
due, and I was so excited for them, and I was like super proud of them. There were several of them that played really well, but I have to shout out to Annette Cristiano because I think she really shined that match. You know, not necessarily offensively, but just all around.
A lot
She
of little
played
things,
a little,
yeah.
a lot of little things. Yeah, yeah. So
So, well, bad news, Coach. I hate to break
she
it
a
to you.
sophomore.
Tatum Robert, junior, and Sarah Cleveland. are
Sophomore.
sophomores.
Okay, I didn't know. I wasn't sure if she was
Yeah.
a freshman or a sophomore
Yeah.
last year because they were both up for that newcomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's well, we got our own horses.
Yeah.
That we can throw right back at them. But
Yeah.
but the Lady Lions do open up district play with their first win, and then they go to Victoria. Meanwhile, we hit the road to Laredo.
Laredo.
We're gonna take our first break. When we come back, we're gonna break down a little bit of the Brownsville Veterans matchup, and then we'll dive into the Laredo St. Augustine match later this week. When we come back, this is Coffee with Coach O.
This summer, settle in and reconnect with one another. South Padre Island has so many great places to stay. Condos, resorts, and hotels. Oh my! Book your summer getaway today. And start making memories poolside with the people you care about most. Visit SoPadre.com.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
Fiber, business or home, take a look at home injury.
Welcome back to Coffee with Coach O, live in the Bloodhound Cafe on a Monday morning. So, Coach, we have Brownsville Veterans tomorrow, and I know that's a game that the veterans community, they love to get up and go. The St. Joe community loves to get up and go anytime Vets and St. Joe plays. Last year, the Lady Bloodhounds hosted veterans, and they won in straight sets. When what was, I thought, a playoff-like atmosphere here in the Dome.
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah. It
I'm,
was-
I'm expecting a little bit of that same environment tomorrow when we head to Brownsville Veterans. Obviously, Sherry Hoskins, she's been around the Valley for quite some time, a name that we've gotten to know in the volleyball world and veterans. Volleyball has always been consistently They've always been consistent in making the playoffs, and they're always in the mix for a district race. And I think when you look back at the season, it doesn't matter wins or losses for me, but you look back at the schedule and say you got to play San Benito, you got to play Harlingen, you got to play Brownsville Veterans,
Los
and Los
Fresnos.
Fresnos. So you just ran through the 32-6A gauntlet, and so here's a chance to pick up a win against a 32-6A team. How excited are you? I'm sure the kids are when you see them this afternoon. They're going to be excited that they get vets.
Yeah, a lot of them have friends over there.
Yep.
So it's a rivalry, but it's a friendly rivalry.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's good, and I like it. I like it too because it is Brownsville. It is Brownsville, and at the end of the day, all these kids know each other. And
Mhm.
I mean, I know Sherry. I've known her for a while and stuff, but I mean, it is going to be. I think it's going to be an exciting game.
Mhm.
I think the kids are getting ready,
Yeah.
ready mentally. Physically we're ready. It's just we really have to. We really have to follow through on the things that we've worked on,
Mhm.
and execute as best as we can.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean,
It's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
I know that. I've been in that gym a couple of times.
Mhm. It's a big gym.
It's
The
huge, and
bleachers.
it's huge, and it's gonna be loud. They're gonna have a lot of people there, and I mean, I'm sure we'll get, our share of parents,
Mhm.
but it's gonna be exciting, I think.
Oh, for sure. I know a lot of the kids. Even when we played Los Fresnos, a lot of the kids knew some of their kids,
Mhm.
and like the St. Joe, Los Fresnos, and veterans communities are all kind of tied into one.
Tied
so
in. Mhm.
it's certainly going to be a lot of fun going up against Brownsville veterans. I think when you go on the road into a place like veterans where we know the crowd is going to be a factor, I think for us a key, at least in my opinion, is to take the crowd out of the game early, and maybe take that first set
Mhm.
and kind of maybe set a tone just a little bit. And it was funny because I told Regina, because a lot of the freshmen this past Saturday they had never been to Saks. I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
right.
that's true.
Like,
That's
I
true.
didn't realize that because they were like, oh, look at that and look at this, and so I was telling Regina and Annette, I said, were y'all too familiar with Saks last year,
Mhm.
last few years? They're like, no, and I'm like, okay, if there's anything I know, we're gonna be here a while, so
Mhm.
like get comfortable.
Yeah.
Find a spot, get comfortable. We're gonna
Yep.
be here a minute. I think we're gonna be in for a good one tomorrow.
I think so
yeah.
too. I haven't seen them play, and I haven't really, I haven't really kept up with, looking at stats or looking at, their record and stuff like that. I've been a little bit busy this year. 7 teams is kind of, putting a dent in everything else right now, but they're always gonna be strong. They're always gonna be strong. And I don't know what they did at the BISD tournament. I don't know what all tournaments they went to. But I'm sure it's gonna be competitive without a doubt.
Mhm.
But I was gonna say about Saks, we actually played
They
10, 11 sets, 3, 6, 9,
and then
10,
10.
10 sets over there.
Wow.
Shout out to the freshmen.
Yes.
They took one.
Yes.
And I was super proud of them. I was
Yes.
super proud of them. I was really excited. It was fun to watch them play,
It is.
because it was just like really no pressure.
No.
They're just out there playing and having fun and doing, what they need to do and stuff.
Yep.
So I was really excited about that.
Well, veterans, they are 14-12,
Mm.
but they lost to McAllen Memorial early at a tournament.
Mhm.
They beat Westlaco, they beat Porter, they've beaten Port Isabel, they've lost to Pace, they've lost to Rivera, they've beaten Harlingen South, they lost to Cal Allen, they beat Sherryland in a tournament, beat Cal Allen in a tournament, South in a
Mhm.
tournament, they lost to Pioneer in a tournament, so kind of hard to gauge.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge because they've played some really tough,
Yeah.
tough teams.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell. Like, I know somebody said to me, I don't know if it was Victoria or somebody. They were like, "Oh, Saks, they're they're like 15 and 14, and I went like, okay, but they go to the tournaments up there, and so they could be playing, Marshall and
smaller schools in the San
the
Antonio area.
those schools and the tournaments they go to and stuff. So I can't, I don't always. I've always some people have a misconception of, oh, you're 10-1. Yeah, but who have you played?
Right.
So it just
Gotta look at the strength of schedule.
yeah. I mean, in the bottom line is your kids are either going to show up and play or they're not, and it doesn't really matter who you play, because like I've told my kids, those little gritty teams that play 5 people defense, those are the ones that come back and get you, So it just depends, It's like you said, we have to go in there and set the tone, and then play our best, definitely. But I think it's gonna be an exciting match.
I think so too. So the matches tomorrow are at 5, 6, and 7, and again we'll have another triple header for you, starting with the freshman, the JV, and the varsity in the primetime slot at 7 o'clock down the street at Brownsville Veterans. Again, I hope you all can make it. If you can't, we'll have it live for you on the Bloodhound channel. Last topic, Coach, is the week will be wrapped up with a match at Laredo St. Augustine, a team that we know is as formidable as Sacs, and that's always just kind of been a thorn in our side. And anytime we go to Laredo, it's just that much tougher. It's the gym, it's just always tough to go to Laredo.
Yeah, it's always tough going to Laredo. Especially the fact that you're where they're kind of like ours, but our rule at in Memorial Gym, of course, now that we're not playing in there, but the parents have to sit, everybody has to sit, fans have to sit on the other side, and it's only our own kids. But, when they're sitting right behind you and they're screaming and yelling and banging stuff, it is kind of distracting. But, I just tell them, you've got to put those,
The
earmuffs on and mute all that out. But but yeah, it's Laredo's always been tough. They've always been tough, and I know they got rid of their big girl, their 6'2" girl, but then they got a freshman that's just as good. So, I'm always kind of amazed, and thankful definitely, but I'm always kind of amazed that we play these teams that San Antonio, Victoria, Laredo, Laredo's got, different schools, and they're in a town where they can recruit from. They've got a lot of area to recruit from. San Antonio, the same. Victoria, of course, they've got, the Corpus area and stuff like that. And we're here in the Valley, and our kids can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And that's something that I think, that I don't know if they've ever really thought about it that way, but that's pretty darn good, I think. I think.
No, I'm with you, and that's the way it is in all the sports. I've told people, and it's people kind of like look at me and like say what, and for example, when I was at the newspaper, I said, when you look at a guy like Manny Gomez from Harlingen, and then you look at someone from Cy-Fair or Aledo or anything like that, I said I would take Manny Gomez over any of those coaches up north. And said, well, why is that? I said, well, look at the student body, and I think our coaches down here do more with less. They
Definitely.
maximize the talent, because we're not 6'2", 6'3". These coaches get the most out of it. You coaches, all of you guys get the most out of our athletes, and then we produce these kids, and they go on to do all these big things. Give Manny Gomez a couple of 6'4", 6'5" D1 athletes
and see what happens. Yeah,
of course. So I think that's why I have so much respect for our kids and our coaches down here in the Valley, just in general, not just here at St. Joe, but just in general in the Valley, because these coaches maximize these kids' potential, and it's exactly to your point that they get so much out of these kids, and they make them that much better, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had a lot of athletes throughout the years, and there's been some, that will come back and say, "You were so mean to me," and I'll be like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, like you made me do this, and you made me do that," and I was like, "But how did you finish your senior year?" well, I was the MVP. Well, if you think if I hadn't pushed you, you think you would have been there. Well, probably not. Probably not.
For sure.
So, they kind of they of course they think different. Kids are kids and they're gonna think different. But I always tell my kids, if you are a true athlete, you need to embrace a coach pushing you to be better every single day. Because in the long run, we see it. You see it.
Yep.
Even though you're not a coach, you see it.
Right.
And so I tell kids, like, parents are like, some parents are like, yeah, and some parents are like, no. So we just do what we can.
Absolutely. And the district standings, switching gears, so something's going to have to give on Saturday. St. Mary's got to win, Sacs got to win, and, of course, Victoria St. Joe began their district season with a win. So both the Lady Bloodhounds and St. Augustine, both 0-1 going into Saturday's match. And that's pretty pivotal, knowing that after Laredo, or after Veterans, then begins a long run of district games. I believe there might be one non-district game sandwich somewhere in between, but because we have Laredo Saturday, then Tuesday
We have,
host St. Anthony's,
I think so.
and then we go to St. Mary's
Mhm.
the following Saturday.
Mhm.
So, and we know St. Anthony's has always been tough, so it's an important match on
Mhm.
Saturday. You don't want to fall behind the 8 ball
No.
too much. You don't
No.
want to start your district year 0-2.
Mm-mm.
And I think this team, again, like we alluded to back in the first show of this year, that on paper they look young, but on the court they're all veterans.
Yeah, they're all
And
veterans.
I think they understand that.
Mhm.
I think they understand that you don't want to start 0-2. And I think these girls can put together a pretty good week. And I think it starts with tomorrow.
Yeah, it definitely
It's some
starts with
It gets
tomorrow.
some momentum because we've had some moral victories against Los Fresnos. We've had moral victories against Harlingen, and of course we got that win sandwiched in between against Hidalgo. But I think this team they're and I told Beto, I forgot what game it was. I said, hey, this team's due an upset somewhere in here. We're due an upset. So I think this team we're getting a lot closer to where they want to be. And it starts tomorrow with
Yeah, it
Veterans,
starts
and then of course on Saturday at Laredo. So, any final thoughts? Any final shout outs? I know that the junior high they're working hard. I know
Yeah,
they were at Estado this past weekend.
I didn't really get the result. I mean, we were playing, so,
Mhm.
but I know one of the parents sent me videos, and they were like, they had us at the edge of our seats, and I said, did y'all win? And she was like, no, but we were right there. So I don't know. I don't even know if they went 3 sets. Were you there? Did you get to see that? 7A went 3 sets. Yeah, 7A went 3 sets. So they didn't win. But there's a lot of talent
Mhm.
in that
Mhm.
middle school.
Yep.
I mean, seventh and eighth,
Mhm.
and I mean, there's so many of them. I know one of the coaches says, "Coach 12 and 12." It's I don't know what to do, but
It's a good problem to have.
it's a good problem to have. It is a good problem to have. So we'll just see what happens.
Absolutely. So a shout out again to our junior high, our freshmen, and our JV on winning their match on Saturday against Sacs. Again, tomorrow we will be at Brownsville Veterans. 5 o'clock will be the freshmen. 6 o'clock will be the JV. Capping it off will be the varsity at 7. And then we won't see volleyball up until Saturday when the junior high takes their talents to Stillman. And then you and I will be back on the road as we take on the Lady Knights in Laredo. I'm excited for another, I call them turn and burns. We got back from Corpus Friday night. I threw my stuff on the bus that morning when we got back from Corpus. I had all my stuff on the bus
That
ready.
morning at 1 a.m.
Yes, that way I already knew in a few hours we were going to go to San Antonio.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then football is at Friday. This Friday they're in Austin against Regents. So I get
So you're
another
gonna
up and back, and then back the other. I mean, if we were playing in the same, I'd stay up there. But
Yeah.
we're going a completely opposite.
yeah,
direction.
yeah. It's kind of a little drive.
Just a little
Not
bit.
that long, but it is a drive. But yeah, it's when I knew we were gonna have a lot of kids, and I decided I'd do a freshman, also, which we tried a couple of years ago, and then we had a bunch of kids drop out, and so I said, forget it. But I knew that there were gonna be longer trips for us,
Mhm.
And I'm super thankful that almost all of them are on Saturdays
Yeah, that's true.
and not during the week,
Yeah.
because that's tough. You know, to have them be out that long and come in that late and then have to turn around and go to school the next day.
Mhm.
It's tough. So there's a few that we have on Tuesdays, but for the most part, most of our Tuesday matches are home.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And then a lot
It's-
of the road
it's
trips
really
are on
good.
Saturdays.
That's really good.
The
So
kids can always catch up on their sleep on a Sunday.
yeah, that's true.
But thanks for joining us again. This has been Coffee with Coach Cho, live in the Bloodhound Cafe. A special thank you to Miss Amanda for opening her doors as always. We were actually in the student center last Monday
Yes.
because it was, I believe, it was an asynchronous day.
Mhm.
So we kind of missed its place last
Yeah,
week. But
we didn't want to make Miss Amanda work
no,
on a
no,
day
but-
off.
No, but a special thank you to her for always opening her doors here in the Bloodhound Cafe. So again, 5, 6, and 7 tomorrow at Bronzeville Veterans, and then we'll wrap up the week Saturday in Laredo with just the junior varsity and the varsity. Correct? There's no
In Laredo, freshman.
All three. Awesome. So another triple header
Yeah.
Saturday and Tuesday. Again, if you cannot make it, we will have it for you live on the Bloodhound channel. That's Coach O. I'm Kevin. We will see you guys next week.
This summer, settle in and reconnect with one another. South Padre Island has so many great places to stay. Condos, resorts, and hotels. Oh my! Book your summer getaway today. And start making memories poolside with the people you care about most. Visit SoPadre.com.